Okay, so we have had, make sure those are clean, a problem. Hi, my name is Lee. I really wanted to vlog today. Obviously I am, but I have had a problem arise with my memory card, so I cannot use my camera, which means we're gonna try using the phone today. I'm checking myself in this mirror to see if I can actually see myself. Yeah, I hate filming with my phone because it takes an actual eternity to transfer files to my computer, and also I don't have a tripod for it. So I'm gonna have to order a memory card today and see how long. Actually, I'm running out of the house. I might be able to stop and pick one up somewhere. I don't know, we'll see. But today we are vlogging. We are vlogging a mess, basically. I had some yarn arrive in the mail yesterday, and this was my big order that I ordered for myself for Christmas. And we just have mess absolutely everywhere. I podcasted yesterday, just crap. This pile here, this is all of the leftover sock yarn from when I finish a pair. And these are new, and just this whole workbench is an absolute disaster. But, let me turn you back around. The thing today is, mainly, besides cleaning, these new acquisitions. I do not have room on my yarn shelf for any more acquisitions. Here is my yarn shelf. I was supposed to be doing a updated stash tour, or an updated stash tour here very soon, but I can't do that until I get all of my stash organized. You see, there's just like some stuff not making sense here. Yeah, these are all absolutely packed full of yarn, and there's just no more room. There's just no more room. So I'm gonna have to rethink this. I'm gonna have to do some organizing. I'm gonna have to use this shelving unit somehow. I really wish I had another actual shelf to go here, but I don't. So this is where we're at. I'm gonna have to think about this, and I'm gonna clean a little bit and check back in with you. Okay, I cleaned off my workbench except for this extra yarn. I have scraps from heels and toes mostly. These are just little bitty scraps. I really just need to like ball these up and put them away where they need to go. And then I have these guys, which are leftovers. This is actually a completely full skein. But I need to either ball or reskein these up. These I'm frogging, so this will be a full sock set when I undo that as well. But I just need to like ball slash reskein these up so I can put them back in my stash. I have been experimenting with taking my sock scraps and making like extra, like making them hanks again, because they sit like here normally and it's just not the best. So we'll see about that. Now what I'm gonna do is, this is the stuff that was sitting on my workbench, but I'm going to go around and gather all of the bits and bobs, random yarns that are sitting around, and I'm going to put it all here in a pile and then clean around it. I'm gonna make sure everything else in the room is clean so that I can assess what I have and then figure out storage solutions on these guys. Okay, update. I had a gruesome headache, or have a really bad headache, and I had to stop and take some medicine. I'm really paranoid that like my lenses are foggy. Anyways, the medicine hasn't quite kicked in yet, but I've switched from coffee to water. So at least I'm trying to be good. And I went to the basement, and let me turn you around. I went to the basement and I picked up a couple of things. Ignore this. This is a whip that's been in hibernation for a very long time. But I found this bowl in storage that really is really dusty. It needs to be wiped out. And a little container that I can use to put some stuff in. Right. Anyways, here's where we're at. I picked up all the yarn up off the floor over here, and I have cleared off this shelf of yarn, and this is where we're at on the floor. I have not touched this yet. I picked up like the odd skein there, and I emptied out that bowl. And that is it. Everything else has not moved here yet, but this is everything that is not on the shelf. Oh my God, including this box that's full of yarn. It is a lot. And there is some sort of method to this madness, but what I'm thinking is that I have some stuff on this shelf that, like this bowl, needs emptied out and organized. I have started collecting a bit of a stash of like lace weight, mohair, and the like to hold with things. They need their own place because there is also a method to this madness, and the mohair doesn't belong. But over here, I have cleared off this shelf, and this crate was just sitting upright with stuff in it. But if I turn it on its side, I can put stuff in it and on top of it and use it like an extra shelf. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna leave that there or if I'm gonna move it to the floor here and use it on the floor, like up, like tallways upright, and put some different organizing things on the shelf. Like I have these long skinny baskets that can go up there, and maybe a bowl, stuff like that. I'm leaning towards that option, but I also need to figure out, because like these are my sock yarn shelves and they're completely packed, like absolutely stuffed to the gills. Every time I touch anything in them, stuff falls down the back. And that's not even all my sock yarn. I have sock yarn here and piled up on here and a few random skeins here and a whole bunch down here that won't even fit in those 2 shelves. So I may need to empty one of these shelves and make a 3rd sock yarn shelf and figure out, and stuff will migrate like over here. So I'm gonna figure this out. We're gonna do this together, kind of. I'll update you in a minute. Okay, so there's a little bit less down here now. What I have now is I did move this crate down here. Oops, sorry, squeaky floor. I live in a really old house. I mean, look at these floors. They're bonkers. I moved that down there. My floor pillows are here. Normally they live over here, but this is where I've been sitting to podcast. So they've been living there and there's stuff on them. But if you ignore that, it's looking kind of away. But I put all of my Nutidin in there and then some cutie things on top, like my little alpaca and a mini skein set that may or may not stay there. And then this is a project I'm about to start. So, and then a couple of random skeins that used to live in that bowl. And I guess they're just going to continue to live in that bowl. And then over here, I took the little scraps off of here and put them down here to give some to fill this out. Because I put this crate here, which is my one of my 2020 Advents and the yarn I have for my Hello from My Colors crop. And then I put my Plotalopi stash and my cones behind there. And then I stuck here all of my Camarose Midnight Sol. There's one partial mohair skein down there and a pom-pom because they all looked like they were poofy together. I consolidated some of the things, like the random things I had up here in this little container that was sitting up there. And now I have an empty space up here that I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with yet. But I did take out a few skeins of arbor from here. They're just sitting over here right now because these are currently, I'm working on this project. So I just took them out so I can go ahead and cake them up and put them in the project bag. So they're just not down here anymore. And I think that gives me enough room for one of these sweater quantities there. And then I took the random one skein, like single skeins out of this one here. I'm dedicating this as a sweater quantity shelf, and that should give me enough room for the other sweater quantity I have in here. So that makes 1, 2, 3 sweater quantity shelves, fingering weight. Oh no, 4 sweater quantity shelves. That's DK and Sport, fingering, worsted, and worsted / bulky. So now all I have to do is figure out, I'm gonna take all the stuff out of this bowl and I'm going to figure out, these 2 are sock yarn and this shelf I believe is going to be just single skeins, not necessarily fingering. It was originally supposed to be fingering, but I think this is going to be dedicated to single skeins. And then I may need to, I'm thinking about down here, putting a basket in here so that I can tuck something away. And I may need to consolidate. I don't know if I'm going to move this stuff into a basket down there. I don't know. I will check back in, but that's where we're at right now. All right, Brad just got home, so I have the door kind of shut now. So hopefully it muffles some of his sounds. But here's where we're at, look. I'm getting so close, so close. There's actually only the hard stuff left. So what I did was this shelf down here had all of my fabric and cross stitch stuff in it. So I'm gonna have to find something to do with that. I need to start a fabric box because I have been accumulating enough that I need one of those now. And I think I'm gonna move it to the closet, and cross stitch stuff should also get a box because those are the kind of things that like, I don't need to see them. Like if I'm gonna start a cross stitch, I'm looking for something specific. So they can be in a box. They don't have to be out like my yarn does. So yeah, that now is full of fingering weight yarn slash miscellaneous sock yarn that's not fingering weight, like DK weight skeins and sport weight skeins, stuff like that. But it's not specifically just sock yarn. It's also like, it kind of makes sense in my head, but it's also got fingering weight skeins for like hats and stuff. And that's basically the same vibe as this one. This one is all fingering weight, but includes a few sock sets and things for other things. Like I have some loft and Peary and stuff for hats or shawls or something like that. I don't know. My new yarn from Fiber for the People is now in here on the sweater quantity shelf, and also here on this sweater quantity shelf. And yeah, I had these two sock yarn cubbies organized in fall, winter, and spring, summer yarns, but having them spill over into this one and this one has kind of ruined that. So I'm still toying with that. I may reorganize the actual yarn in these 4 cubbies, but only switching them around. It's not gonna, this actual layout isn't gonna change. I'll just play with that if I feel like playing with that. And then I had to take a couple of books from down here to put this basket in, and this is all of my utility cotton. And the extra books ended up going up here on this little display, making a little display for like my pins, push pins, blocking pins, sorts of things. And I was able to fit this mini skein set in my mini skein basket. And I got my stash of Flow to Lopi in the back now with my cones. All of this is cute and organized. I put this little crate with all of my knitted in inside. I put this handkerchief on top, which is super cute. I got it from a local shop here. It's got California wildflowers and bugs and stuff on it. And I have some extra sock yarn in a basket in front of it because on top here are onion nettle sock yarns that should be in this basket. But when they're in this basket, it becomes like a giant mountain, and I want to be able to see what colors I have in here. This is my contrast heels and toes basket, so it's mostly Knit Pick Stroll and Fiocolana Arvetta, and then onion nettle. But yeah, that's what I've got. I ended up putting a few things in this like wool wash samples that I'm going to give in gift packages. Like when I knit someone a pair of socks, I'll give them a little wool wash sample, and my matches and stuff I ended up putting in here. That's the thing that was up there. So just a little bit of reorganizing, but I really think it makes a huge difference because now this is like, all of this stuff is reachable. Most of these things are just like kind of weird things. Like I have super commercial sock yarn, just a few. I have silk, knitting for all of silk. I have this fine cotton that feels like paper. And then I have some like reinforcing threads. So these are like weird things that don't have a place, but that bowl is their place. And yeah, having this whole extra cubby down here makes a world of difference. I have only utility cotton in here now. It had become kind of like a catch-all for all of my extra yarn, but I took all the wool out and I have to figure out what to do with it. But this is all extra wool. And then I have a pile over here of extra stuff, not just the extra sock yarn, but these were also sitting on a shelf for some reason. Those are art prints. Not just my extra sock yarn, but also all of this extra dapple, Brooklyn Tweed dapple from my striped sweater. So I need to figure out what I'm doing with all of that. I don't want to put them in like a Tupperware container and put them away because then they will just be forgotten forever. This is stuff I'm getting rid of. This container's empty, so I might use it. And then this is my bag of scraps, like the little cuttings and ends. It's starting to get kind of full, but I will use it for stuffing things. So that can probably just go in the closet. But I need to figure out if I'm getting rid of any of this. And if I am, I need to do it. So that's all I have left. Oh my gosh. I do have a few like notebooks that I need to find a home for, and my knitting needles and crochet hooks and such. But yeah, overall, I think this was good. I don't know if I'm gonna check in with you again because there's just weird little piddly stuff to do. And I don't know if that's gonna be, how interesting that's gonna be, because the end might not look all that different than it does now. But I will be doing that stash tour video soon. So I will have a proper tour of everything and how it looks and where everything is very soon. So I'm just gonna finish up in here and eat a sandwich for lunch and call it good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about all the work I did today. But I hope you enjoyed this little mini vlog video, and I hope you guys have a great one.